Hello, Leo. Welcome to your intuitive reading. I hope that you're doing well. We're going to dive right into the messages for Leo. And these are general messages, so take only what resonates for you and leave the rest. What message do we have for Leo's highest, greatest good? I'm feeling a lot of heart awakening, heart opening, a lot of heart activity and throat. Let's see. What do we have for Leo, please? Leo. Okay. We have two. Okay. We have surrender to the sweetness. This is what I was feeling. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Leo, if you are not feeling that, this is why, because the second card that came out is loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addictions, let God in. Oh, yeah. So there are times, I had a whole download today about the levels of consciousness through the chakra systems and why we can get so elevated, right? And surrender to the sweetness of life, pleasure, joy, making love to life, and have those experiences for a little while, but then we get dropped down into the basement, the root chakra, or the lower three chakras, and those are the lower levels of consciousness, and that is where the density lies. That is where our addictions fall into, our attachments. And when I say addictions, it doesn't matter. It does not have to be a substance. Actually, addictions is when we are searching for something or reaching for something outside of ourselves to satisfy an empty feeling or a feeling of not being safe or secure. And it can be we're relying on a person, we're relying on a substance, we're relying on shopping, we're relying on other things to give us a sense of joy and pleasure in life versus fully embodying that energy within ourselves. So loosen your grip, Virgo. I'm sorry. Well, that's interesting. You may have Virgo in your chart. Loosen your grip, Leo. Interesting. Loosen your grip, Leo. And Virgo is the south node of the moon, which we are working through to clear out so that we can evolve and grow into our north node. The south node of the moon in Virgo can be perfectionism. We're talking about what we're working to move out of. North node in Pisces. So the Virgo south node is us having to have everything all lined up, neat in a row, all our ducks in a row, or at least know where our next step is, and not having full, it's when you don't have full faith and trust in the universal forces and in your own power for co-creation. Moving into Pisces, we are evolving, growing into the Pisces energy of the north node is the surrender. It is the surrender to the sweetness. It is the surrender into the unknown, but with joy, with happiness, with pleasure. When we drop back down, it's almost like an elevator takes us up to the higher realms, and we have all these spiritual experiences, but when we haven't worked through the lower realms of our consciousness, we get dropped back down so that we can work through the fears, the insecurities, the doubts, the addictions, the patterns that we have developed over time because we don't trust our journey. We don't trust the universe. We don't trust ourselves. It's quite the experience to be had. So loosen your grip, Leo. Okay. What else do we have for Leo, please? And we are now in Gemini season too, so we are getting a better look at our tendencies, our duality. There we go, 5 of Inspiration. If you have the eyes to see, I'm hearing. Interesting. Okay. So here we have it overall. Slow and steady goes your journey from the basement of consciousness, the lower realms of consciousness, into the higher realms of consciousness. And this is manifesting into your material, your physical material reality. So you may notice certain manifestations that catch you by surprise, but you're also in a higher level of consciousness when that happens. You can be a little frustrated with the slowness of this. Go easy on yourself, loosen your grip. We start off with the 4 of Emotions, and here you find yourself sitting with all of your emotions. This is kind of the feeling of apathy. Maybe you were up in the higher realms having an amazing time and then kind of had that fall from grace yet again. And this is why we go up, we go down. We can't have any cheats. You can't take the elevator. You've got to do it step by step, working through the lower realms of consciousness into the next realms, through the chakra system, into the next realms of consciousness. So something's still off. Something's been missing. Especially within what you're feeling. And what you're experiencing right now, Leo, is that reflection. We're going through, we always are, but when you're at a certain level of consciousness, the universe turns on this fun house of mirrors experience for us. And when you're very present and present and aware and conscious at every given moment in your journey of life, you will see and sense and feel all of the reflections that the universe is saying, this is what you want to work on. This is what you want to look at. I don't want to say work on, look out, interesting, look at, and that comes from the reflection of others. Through our experiences with others, we get to see all the different archetypes that we've played and that we have reflected outwardly that comes back to us. When you're aware of this part of the journey, it helps you understand what the universe is saying. Why you keep going back down to the lower levels of consciousness is because there's something you've missed. There's something that you they're saying walk away. There's these emotions, depth of emotions that are still in the lower realms of consciousness, in the lower chakras from your past experiences. And we can't skip steps. We can't bypass. It may seem like you can for a little while, but eventually we drop back down once again. So we're going to get a little deeper into all of these for you, Leo. 8 of Emotions, walking away from really difficult feelings. You may actually be seeing exactly, picking up what the universe is putting down, because we have the Hierophant next. And that speaks of the lessons that we've learned. This, you see that this person is climbing the mountain, and there's different parts on the path that we stop and we have reflection. We get to retrieve. Also, I'm hearing parts of ourselves, of our soul. All right, let's get a little deeper into this for Leo. Very interesting. I feel like there's been a lot of lessons learned, but there's still something about feeling like you're falling from grace, or feeling like you've fallen back into coping mechanisms, patterns of coping mechanisms, the density of the lower realms. And again, like I said, that's where our addictions and our attachments reside. So you can see a good reflection of that if you're really paying attention, Leo, really paying attention to everything that you're experiencing in the present moment. and not just trying to survive. Because that is survival instincts and coping mechanisms. Tell us about the 4 of emotions for Leo. Thank you. There we have the 8 of Cups again. Okay. 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 Let me just get all the cards out for you, Leo, and then we'll go down the line one by one for you. Interesting. What? Hierophant, please? Okay. 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 And we have that stubborn energy. So, overall, why things have been so slow is because there is an attachment or a belief system or something that you've been stubborn, you're not letting go, you're not walking away from, and this resides in the emotional body. It has to do with, again, the lower realms, the coping mechanisms. This could have to do with money, for sure. It could have to do with a certain level of consciousness that has you still scraping the bottom, just getting by. And it doesn't have to be money. It's root chakra. Oh, feeling this really strongly in my throat chakra right now, Leo. This is definitely something you incarnated here to work through and clear out and understand. Maybe even so that you can be a teacher yourself, the Hierophant. You will stay in this level of apathy until you touch base with that emotion, with what is missing, what you are missing, what you may have been bypassing or skipping over, and not consciously, maybe consciously for some, but it is time to walk to higher ground emotionally. She's walking towards the sunlight, towards the light. We can get there. This is an attempt to get there, but if we haven't worked through, again, what resides in the lower chakras, the lower levels of consciousness, we will always be pulled back by events, by experiences. We'll always be pulled back down into those lower realms of consciousness, which I see with the 5 of Inspiration. You've been juggling back and forth, in and out, with the King of Wands. So deep down, your soul has shown you you are in control. You've got the torch. You've got the strength, the courage. You are Leo, the lion. That powerful energy of creation, of passion, of drive. Yet when certain experiences that you have in life happen, they pull you out of that level, that awareness completely, because you're still juggling between 2 versions of yourself. In and out. Look at the mirror. Look at the mirror as a reflection that it's going to be coming through probably many people. People that you work with, people that you see on a daily basis, people that you're in relationship with. Somehow, some way, it's going to trigger an emotion in you. That's where this sweet spot resides. It's important to actually go into the truth of all of you. 8 of Emotions. So that you can finally be free from these coping mechanisms, this density, these addictions. Let God in, this says. I'm hearing you've got angels knocking at your door. The Hermit. The World. 2 of Cups, Queen of Cups. Leo, you may have been spending a lot of time with yourself, alone, or you may when you're not having time to yourself alone, you may crave time to yourself alone. Whatever is illuminated when you spend time in nature, I'm hearing, especially. Carry that with you, embody that. You're ending a chapter here. Something is really working at its completion with the world. And again, this talks about the pleasure, the joy, the sweetness of life, and our connections to others. True, soul to soul, heart to heart connections. There's something maybe in the sacral chakra. They're not giving me specifics. Of course, this is a general reading, but I'm picking up that you know. And here we have the Hierophant. You've gone through a lot of teachings, a lot of lessons, a lot of experiences in life. And I'm hearing also, check your beliefs. What are your beliefs about yourself? What are your beliefs? Are you clinging on to a belief about yourself or about life, about how this game of life is actually played? Is it serving you? I'm hearing. With the Hierophant, there is definitely some messages that are coming in, a messenger. This could be even you. You may be feeling like you have messages to relay. And then, interestingly enough, we have the Seven of Wands, which speaks of just being peaceful and content, finding peace and content where you're at, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing. And that is definitely where I find you going back to always. But there's so much more to experience, and I know, Leo, you know this. I feel like your energy is saying, I want my happy back. I want my pleasure, the joy. I want to make love to life all the time. And we can actually get to this state. I'll let you know when it happens. No, I'm kidding. We can get to this state and hold that, understanding that when we drop back down into denser emotional experiences, that lowers our consciousness. We're on a different level of consciousness, a different level of awareness and belief systems. And if you're aware of it and conscious of it, remember where you were just free, liberated, didn't have any beliefs or traditional things, or this could even be the patriarchy altogether, ruling the mind. Loosen your grip, Leo. That's what I just keep hearing. So I hope that you found this to be helpful for you at this time. If you're liking the video, please don't forget to click that like button below the video. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And I'm wishing you a beautiful day and sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.